Hey everybody, we are live. Welcome to another edition of Boston Straight Shooters. I'm your host for this evening, Steve, aka Negative Ned. Frank is away on business, so I'll do my best to hold down the fort for him while he's not here. This is the show we talk about the Bruins, the Patriots, the Celtics, and the Red Sox. Get you guys all caught up to speed. Why is this not working? There it is. Okay. Forgive the delays. We have some technical difficulties trying to work through. What else is new? We have a lot to talk about, though. It's been a big week. We have exciting news on Patriots and Red Sox and Bruins fronts, at least. Not so much on the Celtics, unfortunately. But let's see what happens. Let me post the link so you guys can join the show. And we'll get started. All right. Let's jump into it. Let's jump into the Bruins. The Bruins had a big week last week. They played 4 games. They actually won them all. I'm surprised, to say the least. I am shocked, really, considering the way they were playing when they were losing those games at home on the homestand. The last go around when they lost 4 out of 5. Not good, but they're hanging in there and they're in the race for the wild card still, and they are definitely a pleasant surprise this past week. They beat Calgary 4-1. Excuse me. So they had another 4-game homestand here, and they definitely took advantage. They beat Calgary 4-1. In that game, they jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first and made it 3-0 in the second period. Calgary definitely struggling on defense coming into this one, allowing 4 goals or more in their previous 3 games. They had a 3-game losing streak, and Bruins definitely took advantage. They had a lot of good scoring chances. They, they had a lot of up and down hockey. Listen, you got to give them credit. Korpisalo stopped 20 out of 29 shots. So it's not like they weren't giving up chances, but they got solid goaltending, which they need. The Bruins need the goalies to stand on their heads a little bit and steal some games. And they definitely did that this week. They took advantage. I want to say Lohrei scored one of the goals. It's good to see him get on the board. And I think Morgan Geekie left this game and didn't return because his wife had a baby, and he missed the next 2 games afterwards. So no goals in this game. And he came back against Detroit, still no goals from Morgan Geekie in his last 9-10 games. So he's a guy that needs to get going for them when he's in there, when he comes back. But good games this week. Again, Calgary, that's a team they should beat. Calgary's not very good. I think they're second to last in their division. That's a team they definitely have to take advantage of, and they did. Next game, they played Saturday against the Rangers. 1-0 Bruins. Danny, thank you for that. That's 1-0 Bruins already. This game just started. So the Bruins are playing the Seattle Kraken tonight as they continue the homestand. And looks like they're up 1-0. He said the Russian scored. I assume that's who's Nadinov, right? That's the only guy I know that his name is tough to pronounce. So, look, again, good for the Bruins. They jump out 1-0 tonight. They have to keep doing this. It's better for them not to play from behind. Go back to Saturday's game against the Rangers. An onslaught 10-2. I didn't have that on my bingo card, that's for sure. Uh, the last time the Bruins scored 10 goals in a game, I think, is 1979. Uh, they had 2 hat tricks in the game. Husnudinov, the Russian, whose name we're going to butcher. The Kraken, yeah, Carlo. Yeah, the Kraken. Husnudinov scored 4 goals. It's his first career 4-goal game. He also had an assist. And Pavel Zacha had a hat trick. And they are the first Bruins. It's the first time 2 Bruins scored hat tricks in the same game since 1964. So even Bobby Orr and those great Bruins didn't have 2 guys in the same game with hat tricks, which I find astonishing, considering how lethal that offense was. I mean, at that time, if you think about how potent Edmonton Oiler offense was in the 80s, that's what the Bruins offense was in the 70s with Phil Esposito and Bobby Orr and Johnny Busick and all those guys. And they never had 2 guys get hat tricks in the same game. I would never imagine that. 10-2 football score, maybe more like a baseball score. That's like a Red Sox score. 10-2. But the Rangers looked just out of it. They looked flat. They looked like they didn't know what they were doing. The Bruins were all over them the whole game. Again, I don't know where this is coming from. I'm going to call the Bruins Jekyll and Hyde this year. These streaks they go on where they lose 5 or 6 in a row, and then all of a sudden they win 4, 5, 6 in a row. I don't get it. So I think this is to be expected for the rest of the season. At least probably through mid-March. They're going to have to, at that time when we get closer to the playoffs, they're going to have to find their stride and get more consistent. They will need to be winning like 5 out of 6. And when they lose, it's got to be like no more than 2 out of 3. They can't lose 5 in a row, going into the playoffs. Now, again, I mentioned last week, I think that March, they have a tough schedule. They have 16 games in 30 days. So they had 14 days off. So they basically have a game every other day, which is insane. So it'll be difficult for them and everybody else. Again, the Olympics is in the way. So everybody's going through the same thing. And every day you look at the standings, it's a game of leapfrog. The Bruins were in 6th place in the wild card last week when we came on. Today they're second. They were near last in the division last week. This week I think they're 5th. So, everybody's within 1, 2, 3 points of each other. Everybody's playing leapfrog. So this is going to be like this for a little bit. It's encouraging, though, that they haven't fallen out of the race. I think their record is 26-19, 7 games over 500. I definitely didn't see this coming. I thought with the additions they made in the offseason that it wouldn't be what it is. These offensive outbursts. 4-1, 10-2. They've had some games where they've scored. They beat Edmonton like a couple weeks ago, 6-2. So surprise scoring, and we'll definitely take it. Also in this game, David Pastrnak tied a Bruins record with 6 assists. He ties Bobby Orr and Ken Hodge as the only players in Bruins history to get 6 assists in a game. And the last time it happened was Bobby Orr in 1973. So, great to see. I think Pasta went into like a little mini slump, maybe right around the time he got hurt, or around that time where he missed the game or whatever. But he's really played well the last week or two. He's listen, the sports radio guys keep beating him up because he turns the puck over a lot. But those guys all do that. I've been on here saying this already. You can't beat those guys up for that because their puck is on their stick a lot. They're trying to go by everybody. The coverage is tighter. They're going to have turnovers, and You just hope that the turnovers don't get them beat. That's all. Uh, I'm fine with it. I know that the sports radio guys lose their minds, but you know, it's not like he's out there loafing either. I mean, he comes back on D and helps defensively, so it's not like he's just like loafing out at center ice like some of the old guys used to do back in the '80s and whatnot, and just hang out there waiting for a breakaway pass. He's busting his butt, and so I give him a lot of credit. Um, Moving on from that, the next night they played the Pittsburgh Penguins and they shut them out 1-0, which is shocking again because when you figure Sidney Crosby and Malkin and all those offensive firepower they got, to hold them to no goals is incredible. And Korpisalo with the shutout, 27 stopped all 27 shots. So listen, I think last week I came on here and said they should trade him or cut him and eat his salary for the salary cap and whatever. And then he goes out and gives up 1 goal in 2 games and gets 2 Ws. I feel like I should come on here and dog him every week. So again, good game by him. Stopped all the shots. The Bruins jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the first period. I have to be honest, I did not see a lot of that game. Football was on before the Patriots, and I was kind of glued to that. So I didn't see as much of this game as I wanted. But what I did see looked like tight checking, up and down defensive battle, almost playoff hockey, like if you will. And again, we'll give the Bruins credit for getting a hard-fought victory there. Next game against Detroit. Let's see. They won 3-0. Another back-to-back shutouts. I didn't get a chance to look, but I can't remember the last time the Bruins got back-to-back shutouts. It's probably been a while. This time, Jeremy Swayman was in net. He stopped all the shots. I forget what it was now. I don't have it in front of me. But again, maybe there's a little bit of healthy competition between those two guys in net, kind of like when Allmark and Swayman were going at it the year they were breaking the records. And so, good. This is the kind of goaltending we've expected all year long. You sign an $8 million contract. You got to play like an $8 million goalie and not an $8 goalie. So he's done a good job. Again, I'm more forgiving of the goalies because the goalies are only as good as the 5 guys in front of them. And in the clunkers, when they lose 7-2 and 6-2, unless they give up like obviously bad goals, I mostly fault the defense for allowing the other team's guys to get good scoring chances, or they cough up the puck in their own end, or whatever it is. I'm less inclined to beat up the goalies unless it's hideous. They give up 3 goals on 6 shots, and 2 of them were gimmies they should have had, and that's a different story. But for the most part, I don't think it's been like that. Most of them have been like, it's just tough for them to make those stops. So good on them. I was able to watch the whole Detroit game. That game, now I believe Detroit played the night before, so maybe they didn't have their legs completely, but the Bruins look like typical old school Bruins. They outskated them, they outhit them, they outchanced them. It was a really good game by the Bruins, and I would say probably one of their more complete games this year. So I'll give them full credit. I mean, the fourth line was going. They were getting a lot of chances too, and that's exactly what you need. So good on them. They seem to have, again, it feels like, I don't know, it kind of feels like they get a little bit of success, playing within Marco Sturm's system and doing what the coaching staff wants, and then they get away from it and it hurts them and they start losing these games. So I don't know what it's going to take, but it's good to see them get some W's and stay in the hunt. Let's see. 2-0. Arvidsson scored, or maybe Middlestate. Okay, so 2-0. Bruins already up 2-0. Good sign. You know, and they're at home, and they have to take advantage of being at home. And also, I will go out on a limb and say that part of the reason for the jump in their legs tonight is I want to talk about this. Zdeno Chara had his number retired by the Bruins tonight. They had the ceremony. I watched it. It was good. It was one of those I'm not crying, you're crying in the building. So, you know, well-deserved, definitely well-deserved retirement of his number by the Bruins. You know, Hall of Famer, you know, gave the Bruins what they needed when he came here. He provided leadership, both in the locker room and on the ice, as the captain for 14 years. You know, obviously won the Stanley Cup in 2011. You know, he was just, you know, 6'9", 255, 260, whatever it is. Dude was just mean, and you do not want to mess with him. And the guys that tried it, you know, good luck. So I'm happy for him, and I didn't realize until he said it during his speech. You know, he had worn 3 before and couldn't get it because it was retired here. And he said, all right, well, I'll just get 33. And then he looks in the rafters and he sees Larry Bird's number up there. And he also mentioned Jason Varitek, 33. And so, you know, Boston's had some pretty good 33s here. And so it was good. Let's see. Kraken scored a power play goal. That's not good. All right. So listen, Bruins, you got to stay out of the box. I said this last week. They got to stay out of the box. It's going to hurt them. They're the most penalized team in the league. They take a lot of dumb penalties, and they take them at bad times. Guys, you got to correct it. You got to fix it. You can't have it. Look, I get the whole, you know, trying to be tough, whatever. I didn't, again, I'll have to watch the replay somewhere along the line and find what that penalty was. But nonetheless, you know, this is like talking about the Patriots last year. You know, too many. You can't give the other team 5-6 power plays in a game, and you're only getting 2 because it's not going to work. So hopefully they'll rectify that, and we'll see what happens. I do have this week, excuse me, what I didn't have last week is the upcoming schedule. Before we come on next week, the Bruins have tonight with Seattle. They have Saturday night at Chicago, and they have Tuesday night at Dallas. Listen, if they can get a W here and then go to Chicago and get a W there, you know, Chicago's still rebuilding. That's a team they should beat. Dallas is one of the juggernaut teams this year. They're in the top 5 definitely this year, like they were last year. They're fighting neck and neck with Colorado for the division. So that's not going to be an easy game on the road in Dallas. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But that's it for the Bruins. We're going to move on. We're going to move on now and talk about the Patriots. And Patriots beat the Chargers 16-3 in the wild card round here at home last week. It was a really, really good game by the defense. Phenomenal. We'll get into a lot of that, but let me get to the where's the keys I put? Right here. All right. The keys I had for the game against the Chargers was not to let McConkey and Allen beat them, and they did not. The Patriots really did a good job against those wide receivers, not giving them a lot. Continue the good ground game. They did. Stevenson was good again in this game. And Henderson was good too in spots. So those guys both did a really good job. And no stupid penalties. And look, they didn't have a lot of penalties, if any. You know, if they did, they didn't hurt them. And so they didn't beat themselves. So those are the 3 keys to the game. The takeaways, listen, the number one takeaway is that the defense played top notch, and it was their best game of the season all around. I think this year to hold that offense to 3 points. Now, listen, um, the Chargers' offensive line was beat up, decimated. They lost. They were missing 2 All-Pro tackles and some other guys on the interior, so they were playing with second and third string guys out there. But nonetheless, when the Patriots had that last year, nobody felt sorry for us. When Will Campbell and 58, the left guard there, I'm drawing a blank, Jared, whatever the hell his name is now. When those 2 guys were out, nobody felt bad for us, and we still won games. So, look, it's next man up. Everybody has the same issues, and, I just credit the Patriots defense for scheming it up and taking advantage because that was probably the number one mismatch. NFL games are won and lost in the trenches, as everybody knows, and the Patriots really did a good job. Offensive line for the Patriots. Look, you got two rookies on the left side. Jared Wilson, sorry, it's the guy that's the left guard. Those 2 guys, kind of struggled. Drake May got sacked 5 times, but the sacks themselves didn't hurt. It was the fumbling from Drake May. Dude, you got to hang on to the ball, man. You got to hang on to it. You can't fumble like you did earlier in the year or last year. You got to come on, dude. You got to do something about that. You got to. He threw an interception. The interception could have been costly. Luckily, the Patriots, stood their ground. And again, I hop on this a lot. The coaches now are really stupid. They continue to go for it on 4th down at like the 2 or 3 yard line or whatever it is, 4th and goal, and they're not getting points. Luckily for us, they did not. The Patriots held them. But if the Chargers go up 3-0 there, maybe it's a different game, right, from the get-go. So, listen, they all the coaches are doing it. They're all doing it to drive me nuts. Look at Vrabel. Crap, I forget what game it was. It wasn't that long ago. 8 trips to the freaking red zone. Went for it twice on 4th down. Didn't get nothing. And then, after that, he was like, all right, kick the field goal. Like, dude, when you're on the road, if you try it if you have 1st and goal from inside the 5 and you don't get it the first 3 tries, you got to put the points on the board. Unless you're behind like 14-0 or unless you're behind by a lot. Like if it's early in the game, just put the points on the board. Stop screwing around. You're making no sense. And you're costing your team games in some instances. But nonetheless, the Patriots defense really did a great job there. Stopped them. Patriots and the Chargers, traded some field goals. And what I like too is the Patriots on the Chargers' first drive, stopped them, made them 3-and-out, no points on the opening drive, and we've been hopping on that all year too. So that was encouraging to see. And having Milton Williams back is huge. Dude is he's a force. We'll get to him a little bit later. But that defense did a real good job. Patriots' second drive, that's when May threw the interception, and that's when 4th and goal they went for it and then it got stopped. And then the Patriots went down, and the first quarter ends nothing, but Patriots go down. They listen, Drake May made some plays, man. Well, let me see this. This is where Drake May threw a pass to Stevenson and he broke for 48 yards. That was a huge play. When they, from their own 2 yard lines, 1st and 10, they pass it, and he breaks off for 48. That's huge. That was a big play in the game. And then we had let's see, Drake May got sacked for an 8-yard loss, and then he made a huge pass to Chisholm for 20 yards, keep the drive alive. And then they got all the way down to the 11, and they kind of stalled out, and so then they kicked the field goal to go up 3-0. And like I said, if it's 3-0 already, then you tie it. It's 3-3. So you're playing with the lead now. It makes a difference. On the Chargers' next drive, let's see. They had some runs. That guy Vidal, man, he's a pretty good runner. He was making some plays there. Herbert made a few passes for some first downs. There was a penalty on the Patriots for a face mask, which made it half the distance to the goal. But the defense again came up big, and they stopped the Patriots. They stopped the Chargers and held them to a field goal. So that's where you get the tie, 3-3. This is the second quarter now. Next drive, Patriots. Listen, they had one first down, and then they got stopped, had to punt. Chargers, let's see. Next drive, Herbert tried to QB sneak. He got a first down, and then Herbert made a pass, and then the Patriots sacked him. Chase on with the sack. That guy's been big for the Patriots. Chase on. I think he's a free agent at the end of the year. He's gonna be looking for big dough. That guy. He made some plays in this game, and he made another one later on. We'll get to, but he's been a force too. He's been really good. So they stop him, and they stop him, force the punt. Patriots get the ball back at their own 33, and then Drake May runs one for 37 yards. That was another huge play in the game. Drake May using his legs, and then they had to settle for a field goal, and they went up 6-3 right before the half. So Patriots have the lead at the half. Chargers come out with the ball first, 3-and-out, punt. Good job by the defense. On that drive, there was a pass from Herbert to McConkey, who kind of looked open, but as he was trying to catch the ball, Marcus Jones put his arm in there and swatted it down, knocked the ball out. So that was a big play on defense. And so, look, the defense made plays like that when they needed them at key moments. And, that's exactly what you need, going forward, to win championships and so forth. So Patriots defense really, in this game, they really did a good job. Let's see. Patriots next drive. Let's see. Couple first downs. May made a pass to Stevenson for 17 yards. They get the ball down to the Chargers 33. They make another pass to Diggs for 9 yards. 3rd and 1. May makes the fake option run where he faked it and ran it for 6 yards, got a first down. And then Drake May fumbled, and the Chargers recovered it. And so they were within field goal range there, and they didn't come away with any points. So that was a huge turnover there. Big mistake. And like I said, Drake, love you, mean it, but you got to clean them up, buddy. We got to do something about that. So let's see. Then the Chargers get it at their own 23. There was a pass interference call on Carlton Davis. It was a legit PI. But then the Patriots, again, defense stopped them. The Patriots, 3rd and 4, they forced Herbert with pressure up front and forced an incomplete pass there, forced them to punt. And then when the Patriots got the ball back, again, Drake May, 19-yard pass to Hunter Henry for a first down on that drive. And then 1st and 10 from they were at their own. They started their own 14. May got sacked for a loss, 8-yard loss. It's 2nd and 18. 3rd and 13. May makes the 19-yard pass, get him out of the hole. And on 1st and 10 from their own 31, May makes a pass to Butte for 43 yards and a first down. That was a huge play, too. This is one of those ones where Butte went up and, uh, jumped and grabbed the ball from the defender and took off for a bunch of yards. So, listen, he's really becoming a good threat, deep threat. And it's nice to see. I think this is his 3rd year. He's really done a good job. And they're going to need that going forward. And it's good that he came back because I think he missed the last game. I'm not 100% sure now off the top of my head, but listen, that guy's making plays. That's good. So they get it down, and they have to settle for a field goal. So it's 9-3. They're playing with the lead, which is good. Chargers get the ball back. They got stalled. They had a penalty, which the Patriots declined, which forced the 4th and 7 for them to punt. The Patriots get the ball back. It's a touchback. They start at their own 20. Another key play. Butte another catch for 16 yards. Drake May runs for another 8 yards later on from the 50. Stevenson runs for 13. That's a huge play. And then they get down there and at the 28. And then Drake May with the play of the game. 28-yard touchdown pass to Hunter Henry. Kind of put the nail in the coffin for them for the Chargers. And, everybody's going bonkers. And so, really, really great to see them do that and get that touchdown. I mean, the way the guys were getting open. Listen, I remember the last couple of years, and with Frank on here, receivers couldn't get open. The line didn't give them any time. This and that. Our guys are getting open finally. The line's doing a good job of protecting and giving Drake May time, and it's great to see. It really is. Me and Frank said that they had enough at wide receiver. Again, they're not the top of the line, all pro wide receivers, but they have speed and they can get open, and they do. And so, and also having Josh McDaniels and those guys on the coaching staff here too, we went through all the coaches last week a little bit. They all definitely deserve credit for helping these guys out. So it feels great. It kind of feels like the Patriots are back. I don't want to jinx them, but it feels like they're back, baby. And it feels real good. We've been waiting for this for quite a while. So they go up 16-3. Chargers, next drive, Herbert got sacked. He fumbled the ball. I want to say it was Chase on that hit him. And I forget who recovered it, but the Patriots get the ball with 8 minutes left. Patriots had the ball, and Drake May got sacked again, lost the ball. And we were lucky we recovered it. It was recovered by Wilson. And that was another huge, costly fumble. It could have been drastic disaster, and forced us to punt. And then I have a lot of notes here. So this is basically the Chargers' last drive. Listen, they were driving, they were making some plays. Herbert made a pass on a blitz for 10 yards on one of the plays. Gadsden, he had another pass to that guy for another 10 yards. He was making some plays, and then right after the 2-minute warning, the Patriots called a timeout, and that's when Milton Williams came through and sacked Herbert and caused the fumble. I mean, he just came right, did one of those like Reggie White head slap things and went right by the guy and decked Herbert and caused him to fumble, and the Patriots recovered it, and that was good night, sayonara. And so, I want to say the Patriots only held them to like 60-something yards rushing, which is what they did all early in the year. Remember, I think we talked about it too. Their first 9 games, the Patriots didn't give up more than 50 yards rushing in a game, which was phenomenal. And so when you have Milton Williams and Barmore both in there at the same time, and you're getting, a bunch of the linebackers were back. Spillane was back. So, you had him and Gibbons and Chase on, and them guys were all flying around. So really, really good win. They have the Houston Texans coming up this week. in the divisional round. And this is going to be a tight battle. Houston has the best defense in the league. We've been talking about it all along. I think, and listen, there's a whole bunch of ex Patriots within the Texans coaching staff and players and so forth. The Patriots did pick up I want to say a defensive lineman from Houston who they released and put him on the practice squad. And so this is like the old Bill Belichick playbook where he would like grab guys and like have them here for a week and try to get like secrets, I think, and then like kick them to the curb after the game's over. It might be one of those deals again. But, I feel like this is one of those games where everybody knows everybody a little bit, and it's going to be a defensive battle. And the Patriots showed last week that, and then listen, this goes back to the Monday Night Football game against the Giants. That was a smash mouth game. Both teams came to play and to hit. I think this is going to be just like that. Houston is very physical. They're tough. But listen, the Patriots can be physical, and it's going to be a battle. And I'm looking forward to it. And I think I'm going to lean towards the Patriots because I think that C.J. Stroud, whatever magic he had 2 years ago has kind of disappeared just a smidge. He's got more turnovers than he's had in a while. Didn't play that great in the Pittsburgh game this past week. They're coming off a short week. They have to come up here. The defense got 2 touchdowns for them. So if the Patriots can keep from turning the ball over, they're going to win this game. And it really comes down to who makes more mistakes. And, Patriots got lucky Sunday against the Chargers. May fumbled twice, and it didn't hurt us. So, we just can't have those. So, the game is Sunday at 3 p.m. It's on ABC and ESPN for anybody that doesn't know. The networks, they have a way of switching them all around. I don't know what the thought process is there. But, I know at least 2 people, Frank, for one, and my friend Larry Hill, both have Fox, and Verizon is having a dispute with them. And so if the game was on Fox, they wouldn't be able to watch it. Oh, man, what a bleep storm that would be if they couldn't watch the Patriots this week. So I'm glad they get to watch it because that would be a nightmare. Anyway, looking forward to the game this week. Go Patriots. Let's move on before I run out of time. Let's talk about the Celtics now. Let me get to my notes here. Give me 1 second. Where are you? You are up here. Hold on. Nope. Where did they get? There we go. All right. The Celtics had kind of a rough week. They lost 2 out of 3 games. They how do I phrase this? Indiana, they played Indiana in the 3rd game this week. Shouldn't lose to them. They were like 8-37 or some nonsense, whatever they are. They're bad this year, but they've played the Celtics pretty tough in the games they've played. We'll get to that in a minute. I want to recap these games. They beat Toronto 125-117. That was a really good game. The Celtics, they were up 68-60 at the half. They jumped out to a 15-point lead in the 3rd quarter. They didn't blow it, which makes me happy because I hate when they freaking blow the 20-point leads. That drives me nuts. Peyton Pritchett, 27 points. Jaylen Brown, 25. Sam Hauser, 19 points. He was 7 of 10 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3. White had 18 points. Simons had 15. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 guys in double figures. The Celtics as a team shot 14 of 28 from 3, which is 50%, which is unheard of. I would be thrilled if they only took 28 threes a game and they could win and shoot, 40%. 50 is like a wicked bonus. But that to me would be ideal for the Celtics if they could, hold the threes down, not 45 and 50 a game. So listen, they were very good scoring on the glass. Again, hard fought W. Toronto's good. You're fighting with them for position in the division. And I want to say this is the second or third time in the last couple of weeks that we beat them. So they're very good wins. I'm happy with the way they won that game. Contributions from everybody. They shot the ball well. Uh, no real complaints. Next game they lost to San Antonio, 100-95. I did not get to see a lot of that game. They lost by 5 points. They had a lead. They were up 5 at the half. They were only 16 of 44 from three, 36%, which isn't horrible. But again, too many threes. I think they need to whittle that back a little bit. They only shot 41% for the game. Victor Wembanyama had 21 points. And I do want to talk about the controversy in that game where San Antonio had 20 free throws and the Celtics only got 4. And Jaylen Brown ended up getting fined after that game. But I want to save that for after we do the recap. Now, look, San Antonio is a good team. And so it's difficult to take anything away from them. They're an up-and-coming young team, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with over these next few years. But these are tough games. The Celtics have to find a way to win. But I don't like the disparity in the free throws. So let me move on to the Indiana game for a second, because I'm definitely going to spend a little bit of time on Jaylen Brown. So listen, they were up. The Celtics again up 3 at the half. A little bit sloppy. Again, they get these games where there's some sloppy passes. It looks like playground ball. They're throwing up wild threes. Derek White, he's really in a slump as far as shooting threes. He was 2 for 7 in one of the other games. He was 2 for 9 in this game. They got to get him right somehow. He's doing all the other things good. His defense is still, top notch. He's getting blocks up the wazoo, right? I think one game a week or two ago, he had 4 blocks. So the other things he's doing good. He's just not shooting threes good. And I hate to say this because it's not the same, but he's kind of making me feel like Marcus Smart. He gets the ball now and he's throwing it up and I cringe. I'm like, oh no, dude, don't do it. It's like they know, and I feel like they're leaving him open because they know he's going to miss, and I don't like that. So I really hope that he can fix that. But that wasn't the reason they lost this game. It just feels like they went 16 of 37 from 3, 43%. That's pretty good. If you're above 40%, that's damn good. But the rest of the game, they shot 46%, and against a team that doesn't shoot threes good. They were the Indiana was 9 of 35 from 3, and they shot 26%. That's terrible. You should beat teams like that, and they're undermanned too. They don't even have their best player, Halliburton. But they still have Siakam, and he's a killer. He plays good against the Celtics. He's a good player, and the Celtics couldn't find a way to stop him. And they ended up losing the game late in the game. So Indiana got a 9-point lead in the fourth quarter. Might have been the third quarter. The Celtics came back, and they tied it at 96 with 29 seconds left. And then Indiana took a timeout, and they got the ball to Siakam in the paint down there, and we couldn't stop him. And he put a floater in with 6 seconds left, and that's the end of the game. And this is where the Celtics definitely need some help as far as big men. And I really wish Frank was here to talk about that. There's some rumors floating around about some big men the Celtics are interested in. I will gather that info for the next show because it would be nice to get Frank's thoughts on. There was a list of like 4 or 5 guys to get his thoughts on who he thinks would be the best fit. Robert Williams was one of the names on that list, so I'm going to cross him off right away. I don't like him. I like him as a player. He's a good defender, but he's injury prone and he's got knee issues. And I just say no. We already played that game. Unless you can't get anybody else, I don't think it's good. and I want somebody else. I want somebody different. Nonetheless, um, Indiana's a team that the Celtics should beat, and I feel like you know sometimes the Celtics play a little loose, a little sloppy. Also, need to mention there was no Jaylen Brown this game. He was out with an illness. That definitely does hurt too. Uh, but should still be able to find a way to win. Uh, now let me circle back to Jaylen Brown being fined by the NBA after the San Antonio game. He made some comments about the officiating. He was fined $35,000 for his comments. And I'm going to be honest. I listen to sports radio, and those guys are like, "Oh, I'm tired of the Celtics complaining about the officials. I'm tired of the Boston fans complaining about the officials, and it's getting old, and we're tired of it." But there's times where the officials do need to be called out, and I can tell you from being on Frank's show, Box Seats, with all the fellas over there, that we talk about this, all of us, and everybody's talking about it. So it's not new. It's on TikTok. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. We are not the only ones complaining about the refs. So it's across all the sports, right? The NFL refs are getting all kinds of scrutiny. The NBA refs are getting scrutiny, and rightfully so, because they already had the Tim Donaghy thing. They got a gambling issue going on in the NBA where former players are involved. And then you have a game where one team got to the free throw line and had 20 free throws, and the other team only had 4. That's a pretty damn big disparity. And I don't blame Jaylen Brown for going off. I'm glad he did it. I would do the same thing. At some point, you can be on the court. Now, look, I'll be perfectly honest. I love Jason Tatum. But there are times where thinks he's getting fouled, or he does get fouled, and he's arguing with the ref behind the play. And it's every game, and it's multiple times in a game. And I'm like, dude, you got to just get back into the play. Save your energy for the game and make some plays. Like, I get it, right? Because the calls are terrible. The refs are terrible. They're inconsistent. That's one of the things that is really frustrating, is that they're inconsistent. And, one of the things that really irritates the hell out of me is these guys, some of them are not even getting hit. The guy's hand or arm is, looks like it hits the guy in the forehead, and the guy goes like this, and he doesn't even barely get touched. There's a foul called, and then the coach has to challenge it. Then we got to go to a commercial for 3 freaking minutes and wait while these bozos try to figure out whether it was a dive or a fake, or what, like soccer. Like, cut the crap. Why can't we have a freaking 30-second split screen and have the ref look into the hood and get from New York or wherever the hell it is and get a call in 30 seconds? Don't send me to freaking sportsbook commercials and all this other crap while there's a replay going on. I hate that. So that's driving me crazy too. And the Celtics are not the only victims. I do watch a few games here and there that other teams do the same thing. The calls are terrible. The refs are all over the place. I want to read this. This is going to take a little bit, so bear with me, but I want to read this direct from Jaylen Brown. This is his comments after the game. He said, "I'll accept the fine at this point. I think they're a good defensive team, but they ain't that damn good. I hope somebody can just pull up the clips, because it's the same bleep every time we play a good team. It's like they refuse to make a call, then touch fouls on the other end. The inconsistency is effing crazy. Give me the fine." I freaking love it. He also called out referee Curtis Blair by name. Now, that doesn't really happen very often at all. And he called the guy out and said, "Curtis, all them dudes was terrible tonight. I don't care. They can find me whatever they want. But it's crazy. Every time we play a good team, it's the same bull bleep. Somebody please pull up the clips. I'm irate how they officiated the game today. You're not the only one, buddy, because we're all sitting at home irate, yelling at the TV with the same BS. So you're not alone." And he said, "If we can't get to the free throw line and teams are allowed to be physical and bump us off our spots, it's hard to win games like that. We shot 4 free throws tonight and lost the game by 4 points. So listen, you can get 4 more free throws or 6 more free throws, or another 10 free throws and make it more even, and the Celtics have a chance to win the game. I'm not saying it's the reason they lost. Okay, it's a reason. It's not the sole reason. But that kind of inconsistency, the crossing sports, the ticky tack foul flags that happen when pass interference, stuff like that, like the calls are just brutal. Um, so listen, clap, Jaylen Brown. Let me tell you something. Uh, I normally don't do this very often because I get it. The players sometimes go overboard with the complaining. But in this particular case, he is absolutely 100% right. I don't blame him. I would take the fine too. At some point, when you're not being heard and nothing is changing when it's supposed to, then you have to drastic times call for drastic measures. This is drastic. And so they have all this taboo across all the sports. You can't criticize the officiating, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Terry O'Reilly punched Andy Van Helmen right in the face, and I loved it. You know why? Because that guy was a freaking tool bag and a half. The bleep calls that guy would make. So at some point, the players they lose it. They're just like, F this. I'm going to take a suspension or I'm going to get fined. I don't care anymore. And it's unfortunate because they should rectify it. They should make the referees accountable somehow. Now, I know on sports radio there's guys there that want all the referees' cell phone records and bring them into court and put them in jail and all this other stuff. And they have a pool report for the NBA, right after the game, and they do all this nonsense. And they're like, oh, we missed that call. It should have been a foul. And the NFL does the same thing. And they're like, oh, well, that was a pass interference and we missed it. But, well, save your apology at that point. I mean, take that and shove it up your rear end. Nobody gives two craps. I don't want to hear an apology. I want you to get the crap right during the game and knock it off. Is it going to be perfect? No. It's never going to be perfect. If you want perfect, then we're going to have all robots on the field all the time. That would make it worse, I think. In some cases, I mean, look, I'll put it this way. In baseball, they're going to be going to the robot arms for the balls and strikes. That I love because the umpires in baseball strike zones are so inconsistent. Nobody knows what the hell's a ball or a strike. So that I agree with. But if you had an NFL robots for referees on the field, there would be like nonstop stoppages in the game, and basketball too. If you had like Rosie from the Jetsons riding up and down the court, making these calls all game long, it wouldn't work. So, there's always going to be some bad, and there is a lot of good. I'm not saying it's an easy job. I couldn't do it. I can tell you right now, I probably couldn't do it. But they have to fix the inconsistencies. They have to figure out how to fix it. It's brutal. And I would say the one sport that I hopped on forever that is actually getting better, I think, is hockey. Not that there's never any bad calls, because there is, but I feel that there's less of them. There are still the replay ones where you can see something that's clear as day, and they're like, "How the hell did they get that wrong? That was bull crap." Right? There are still going to be a few of those, but I don't feel that the calls are as bad as they were, 5-10 years ago, or 20 years ago, 30 years. They are getting better. But man, basketball is brutal. The guys, they do have guys. Listen, they have guys that flop like Marcus Smart. When he was a Celtic, we loved it, and if he's not on our team anymore, we hate it. Right? So that's going to happen. The NBA is filled with that. LaFlop, LeBron James, I call him LaFlop. He's famous for that. I don't know how many clips I've seen on TikTok or YouTube, whatever. He thought he was getting fouled. It looks like he's freaking dying, and the guy didn't even breathe on him. It's awful. But they got to clean this up. I agree with Jaylen Brown. I'm with him. And I know Frank probably not happy with me having my rant here, but I just feel like Jaylen Brown should get some due, because I think he was fine. I loved what he did. I don't care. Now if he does it again and he does it 2 more times this year or whatever, then okay, no. You made your point, right? So whatever happens after this, and look, there's a lot of scrutiny around him over the last couple of years with the USA basketball and getting snubbed, and sneaker deals and all this other. There's all kinds of, like, I'll call it blacklisting or blackballing with him. that I can't figure out because I don't think he deserves any of that. All right. Before I run out of time, we do have to spend a little bit of time on the Red Sox, so I'm going to move on. Um, let me find it here. Okay. Let's start with the bad news. The bad news is the Cubs signed Alex Bregman to a 6-year, $175 million deal. The Red Sox, of course, the interest kings were in on him, right? They made him an offer of 6 years and 165 million after the fact. That offer came with a bunch of deferrals, and I think he wanted a no trade clause, and I don't believe it was in there. His deal with the Cubs has no deferrals and no trade clause in it. And I posted a clip on our page that shows AJ Pierzynski, who is the catcher I used to catch here and caught for the White Sox, has a podcast, and he kind of detailed what happened. I'm not going to get into specifics. I outlined it in the clip that I posted. So if you want to see what the real deal was there, long story short, the Red Sox, typical, being cheap, being stupid, low ball offers, undermining the players that they're making these offers to. They're just operating. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but whatever they're doing, it's wrong and it's not working. And players are not going to take them seriously. They did. Let's get to the good news. They did sign Ranger Suarez. He's a free agent pitcher from the Phillies. He was 12-8 last year. He had a 3.38, I think, ERA. I think he made 25 or 26 starts. He's left-handed. He's a good pitcher. He's probably number 2. Because he's left-handed, I don't know if the Red Sox would actually use him as number 2, where they have Sonny Gray. I would be fine with them putting 2 lefties back-to-back and then Sonny Gray, but I have a funny feeling they're going to flip it around and do left, right, left. Honestly, this guy is not, a fireball guy. He throws in the low 90s. He's an actual pitcher, like pitcher. He's a contact guy. He had a back injury last year that limited him. Listen, 5 years, 130 million, 26 million a year. It's a good deal. He's 31 or 32, 31, I think. So look, that's a good deal. They finally got somebody. I would have been happier if they had made a trade for Joe Ryan because I think he's better, and he's an actual legit number 2 ace guy, and you would have him under control. Even if you had to trade, say, Duran and whoever, you would have him under control for 2 years because he's arbitration eligible. And then you could still do like you did with Crochet when you brought him here. You could get him here, skip the arbitration BS, and then sign him to a contract. You could have gave him the same 5 years, 130 million. Anyway, spilt milk. I think it's a good signing. It's not a great signing. But I will say this. Okay. So, one of my friends, Chris Corsi, was asking me to be positive. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm positive the Red Sox need more. The rotation is better. They upgraded. Suarez and Gray are an upgrade over who's the hell's the 2 guys they had last year? Lucas Giolito and Walker Buehler. Right? Now, I was fine with them having Buehler. To me, the $21 million they spent on him replaced the $21 million that they offered Nick Pivetta, who turned it down. Dummy. I didn't want him here anyway. They ended up releasing Walker Buehler, unfortunately. But to me, the money kind of washes out a little bit. Giolito made 19. Walker Buehler made 21. So there's a little bit of an increase there. However, you lost Alex Bregman. You're not paying him $30 million. Right? You added the first baseman, Wilson Contreras, you put his $20 million on. So the money's like just about even, money wise. Problem is, they still don't have a freaking second baseman. I think you're looking at Marcelo Meyer at third. I'm fine with that. He's okay. He's okay. He's a young player. They've been grooming him forever to be here. But they need something else. They need a second baseman. They need a legit second baseman. I do not want to see Romy Gonzalez and freaking David Hamilton over there. I'll freaking poke my eyes out. I'm tired of them being stupid and going cheap. Go get that kid Marte from Arizona. Make a trade somehow. Now they have an extra. Now you're never going to hear this. They actually have a little bit of a surplus of pitching. So you have Brian Bayo, you have Sandoval, Patrick Sandoval. They signed last year for $19 million. He's going to make 12. He's going to make 12, 13 million this year. After he sat out all last year with a Tommy John injury. They also got that guy Oviedo from the Pirates. He's supposed to be the fifth starter. So maybe you could trade either Bayo or Sandoval, and I would try to find a way to package Yoshida in there somehow. If you can't, and you end up trading like Duran as part of that package, fine. But you got to make a trade and get a real second baseman. You cannot go into the season this way. And as far as the lineup right now, what it's going to look like, if you can't get rid of any of the outfielders, and listen, I would put Rafael at second base. This is a projected lineup. I've seen this multiple times across multiple sites where they have Duran in left, Roman Anthony as the DH, Trevor Story at short, Wilson Contreras at first, who Corvus is going to hit cleanup. Willier Abreu in right field, Carlos Navarez at catcher, Marcelo Meyer at third. And they have a combination of Christian Campbell and Romy Gonzalez at second and Saddam Rafael in center field. You know what? I would put Rafael at second. And I would put Duran, Anthony, and Abreu in the outfield until further notice, until you get another second baseman. He can play second base. Rafael can play second base. He's talented. He's not Mookie Betts, so don't mince my words here and use them against me. Okay, he's not Mookie Betts, but he has the skills to play second base and be as good as not as good as Mookie Betts. He's not a Gold Glove guy yet, but he can play. He's got Gold Gloves in center field. That's a no-brainer. But he can play second base. He's got more range than the other guys do. Christian Campbell, I would trade him for a bag of balls right now. After they signed him for $8 million, trade his ass out of here. I don't know if anybody wants him, but get that $8 million off the books somehow. Find a way to package Campbell and freaking Bayo as part of a package somehow. Get rid of these guys. But they got to do something, and they have to do it by trade now, and they have to get a second baseman because these guys are ground ball pitchers, and you can't have routine balls getting booted. You can't have a guy has a 3-0 lead in the first inning, and then the freaking fourth inning rolls around, and the guy boots the ball and opens the floodgate for a 5-run inning, and you're wasting, your newly signed Suarez. I mean, this is going to be a rant for later because there's going to be plenty of time to talk baseball. So I'm going to cut myself off, Frank. Sorry. We'll save the rant for later. We do need to get to the poll questions. We'll do that right now. We'll rant about the Red Sox later when they are messing up. Let me see. Where are you? You are here. We only had excuse me. We only had one poll question this week. How do you feel about the Red Sox signing lefty starting pitcher Ranger Suarez? Better than nothing, 20%. Good but not great, 80%. Another Tommy John surgery candidate, 0. He doesn't strike me as a guy that will have elbow problems, but you never know. These guys, they don't last. Predictions. Look at predictions. Last week, predictions. I said that the Patriots would beat the Chargers 23-19. I got the score wrong. So back to the drawing board. Number 2, I said Drake May would get his second comeback win. I said the Patriots would be down 19-16, and he would lead the comeback and get them the 23-19 win. Wrong. No good. Excuse me. Let's see. Number 3, I said Morgan Geekie would have a hat trick. Wrong. He only played one game and he left in the first period. And I think he played in Detroit. He didn't get any goals. So no goals again for him, way off. And the last prediction I had was that Luka Garza would get 20 points in a game next week. Wrong. The most he got was 11. And shame on me. I don't have the predictions ready. The only prediction I'm going to make is the Patriots are going to win. I'm not going to give a score because I am expecting a low-scoring game along the 19-17, 16-13, one of these kind of games, slugfest. That's the only prediction I'll make for right now. Cut myself off so we can get out of here. We are out of time. I want to thank everybody. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for voting in the polls. Thanks for your support. Thanks for the commentary. Be sure to catch us on YouTube, and we'll see you next week.